Hello, Sinistello. Hello, everybody. We are on to the afternoon tasks of merging PRs and then working through the task backlog that I have quite a lot that's accumulated. And this, thanks, Sinistello. Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate it. And hey, got Ankibara. Okay, so we're going to start with this. I saw that Kevin made another couple commits. Yeah, these. And then we had a brief chat about what we're going to do here. Yeah, we need to handle the case where you can't rebind a key to a duplicate. This will make it really hard to set up key bindings for controller, but it'll also probably make it impossible to use two keys in different contexts. E.g., shift is bound to two things at once by default. Hey, Chef Alton. Okay, so let's go pull this. 1184 GHPR checked out. 1184. Let me just make sure I don't have any changes. I don't. That's fine. I don't know how this keeps happening. Somehow I have 3 Godot windows open. Okay, close the game. That's one of them. This should have been closed a while ago. Close the game. Huh, maybe it's not going to work. I wonder if there's some script error. Let me take a look at the script output. Close the game. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay, just didn't hear me. And then, yeah, we have 2 of these open. I don't know how that keeps happening. I don't know if it's a Mac OS quirk or what, but it happens like multiple times per week that I'll just have multiple Godot icons here. I know I'm blocking it with my keyboard camera, but just imagine that instead of Chrome being there once, I have it there twice. I don't know why, why that's happening. All right, we're going to revert all of these things. They probably don't matter, and they're probably on main. And we probably need to merge in main. All right, so the 2 things that this changed were move keybind reset to dialog, got it, and allow setting a keybind to a certain value. Okay, both of these should be pretty straightforward, which is that once we're in here, we now don't have a reset column here. The reset is inside of this. So there's default. Interesting. So press enter on the past dialog. Okay, so let's say I press default. What happens? A is used. Okay, let's say I change this to D. It won't work. What's the first key I can change it to? F. And I do default, hit confirm. Okay. And yeah, and this lets me press D to do this. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's look through the new code for that. And then I have a bunch of post Kevin merging things that we're going to have to do. All right, so all I care about are the changes since the last commit. It says 21 commits, but that's not actually true. I think I just need to select, how do you do this? These 2? Does that work? 2 commits, yeah, okay. Yeah, so now there's a default button there. Interesting. That we're going to have to eventually remove. Oh, yeah, he mentioned changes to icon button. I should probably look at those. Yeah. Okay, when there's an existing action mapped to the input event, give that feedback to the player since we cannot allow them to use again unless the event maps the current action, in which case it'll be a no-op. Okay. Okay, so what was it? Icon button. I want to go look at that. Let's go back to all commits. Is that working? Yeah. And then look at icon button. I don't remember what the changes are, but Kevin said they're not necessary anymore. So the question is, do we want to keep them anyway? Do we not want to keep them? So we added in icon path, margin, and flip icon. And then based on if these things were set, we would add in the margin and the icon path to allow them to be created dynamically. Hey, Kevin. I don't know how I feel about this. If nothing's using it, I generally don't like having it in the code base. And now we never call this create function, I guess. Might need to reload for this to work. Hey, Soli. Happy Monday. Okay, I'm just waiting for this thing to highlight. There we go. Yeah, so nothing's calling this right now. I think we get rid of it. I also think this is not so difficult to just add in the future, which is why I'm okay probably getting rid of it. Then again, it's also not really polluting stuff a whole lot to have these. Well, I don't know. Nothing's using it. Nothing's using it, right? Yeah, I think maybe we do undo this. So everything from flip H on downward. Because if we haven't needed it up till here, and we're not going to dynamically create these, then I guess there's no real reason to keep this around. So now we don't need that stuff. There's a new import that wasn't needed. I don't know why I'm doing things this way. The way I should be doing it is just copy pasting the old file. So yeah, let's go do that. So I actually take the call. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times, like in deleted code.md, a lot of these things are potentially difficult things to re-add, or like it might have involved some design. Yeah, I think in this case, it seems pretty straightforward. So I think just setting it back to what we had is probably fine. There. And this should still build and run. And then I got to make sure I read through Kevin's comments again, because I think there might have been another one. Okay, so this runs. That's all I care about. And then what's that? Oh, translation stuff. Hey, who cares about 30-day streak or 30 stream streak? I don't generally tend to pay attention to those too much. But 30 is a big number. All right, so where are the other comments? Because if I search for icon button, I should find that one. And assuming that there's another comment there, then I'm guessing it's not in. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is looking good. I don't think I have any other changes I want to make. I'll just run .NET format. I'll also check this in. Revert icon button to main. Kevin mentioned this in the PR that these changes are no longer needed, given that they aren't too particularly difficult to make again in the future if we need them. I'm going to remove them. No, not I'm going to remove them. I've removed them. Yeah. Now we just run .NET format. And now we wait. So this PR has some follow-up work I've got to do. I don't remember. It's on the list though. And then Dark's PR, we're going to merge that. And then we're just going to get to backlog tasks. I think a lot of this, like, I'm glad we're getting a lot of the game stuff done and then having time to market, because we're also going to be doing playtesting during that time. Did anything change? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. All right. Hey, Dark. I was wondering, sometimes you get an error from the nav mesh when you grant most things. Should we look into it, or is it just debug related because we do a lot at once? I think it's just debug related. I think it has to do with signs overlapping with something else. But it doesn't even seem to cause a problem even in debug builds. I do know that the error shows up. But yeah, I don't think there's a real issue there. I did end up removing this. And yeah. Everything looks good for what we have. We do need to figure out the controller remapping stuff, but that can take place in a future PR. Thanks for doing this. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so now I gotta approve this somehow. How do I do that? Dismiss review. Or maybe I just approve it? One pending review? How do I? Why is this not like you can't just approve it from here? Add your review. Approve. Abby. I hear the cat outside. Go to files, change it. Yeah. I just didn't, I would expect there to be some way to do it from this too. Hi. Hey. Wanna come up? Yes, you do. I get so. When comes it down, I should probably take this off first because otherwise it's gonna be too warm. Come on, come sit down. Yeah. Okay. Hi. God, cats just crack me up. They're such funny little creatures. Okay, come sit down. Well, there goes the work. Well, I'd like her to sit down, and then I do plan on doing work. Okay. Go ahead, Katza. Okay, so back to main. Actually, not back to main. Let's go to Dark's branch. 1208. Ah, yes. Okay, so I've already read through the. I think I read through this, but let me read through it again. This PR adds new boss rooms and one regular room for canyon battles. I also had to move a couple sprites separately because I didn't need the whole Atlas lava waterfall with effects. Also fixes the snowman's hat being cut off. I'm glad about that. Let me delete it from the to-do list. Actually, let's not delete it. Let's get to it when it's in the backlog. That way we can track how much stuff we've gotten rid of. She's rubbing her face against the pop filter. Okay, screenshots in the editor. Yeah, so I looked through all the screenshots. The only thing I think that stood out to me, and I know this sounds very nitpicky and I could get rid of this myself, these little like blue mushrooms coming out of the fiery area. I don't think I'd expect to see blue there, but that's kind of it. Yeah, we sort of see that here too. And it's coming out of like magma at that point. But yeah, okay. What is the cat looking at? What are you staring at? See something on the wall? Well, there goes the work. Yeah, I'm just going to delete the whole PR. I think that should be good. Okay. Excuse me, cat. All right, so we just start up the game. Wasn't sure about them. Didn't have anything interesting to add there. Yeah, and it's not a huge deal or anything. Okay, so I'm just going to click new game, and we're going to look through all of the instances. And this should be pretty interesting. So we're going to start with the forest, which should look exactly the same. It does. Wow, who would have thought? Okay, next we're going to go to the canyon. And I don't remember which one of these is going to be different. So let's just look at them both. Yeah, so this one's the same as it was. And now this one is different. You're purring? Oh, you're purring very quietly. Is it different? Did I do something wrong? Maybe, let me look through the PR. Because maybe we didn't actually like manifest the scenes. That's totally fine if we didn't. I don't mind doing that. No, we didn't. Okay, that's fine. I can change these. Okay, so scenes dot or scene paths. Canyon. All right, so we have canyon regular. Maybe I should put boss here. Or maybe we just call it. Yeah, sure. Then crypt boss. There's going to be crypt regular. Crypt boss. Okay, then we have Frost Plains, which is modified to fix the hat. Inferno now has a boss version, which is called Inferno Boss. And the regular one does not change names. Mines boss is added. Yep, and the regular one is a regular one still. Sounds good. And then Waterways boss. boss, and then regular. Okay. So I think that's everything. If I try building, it's going to fail like 5 times. We'll just go fix all those. Yeah, only has the scenes. Okay, yeah. All right. So now we got to go plug these in. So everywhere that we had canyon, well, I guess not everywhere we have canyon. This changes to regular. This changes to boss. Okay. We just keep going through all these. Yeah, this changes to regular. This changes to boss. Assuming we did this correctly. Come on, regular. This is boss. I'm expecting the AI to just type it all out for me, making me do this work. Okay, then we do the exact same thing again down here, which is rather unfortunate. I'll just copy paste the word regular. Boss is faster to type. Oh man, I don't know why that's happening. This one's a regular one. Boss. F8 keeps going to a different file for some reason. I have to wait in between pressing this. Okay, there we go. I think everything should be fine now. How was lunch? What'd you have? I had a pasta salad thing. And yeah, I didn't want to be like too sleepy after lunch because I have some leftover biryani too, and I thought that'll probably put me to sleep. Peppered dish of eggplants and Thai bird Thai chili pepper. Oh, cool. Bird's eye chili. Interesting. There's a restaurant called Bird Pepper. And I wondered why. I hadn't heard of this. Huh. Interesting. It looks very pretty. Man. I really like when nature produces reds and pinks. Cherry blossom trees are amazing. Hey, Sarah. All right, let me quit out of all this stuff. Extremely spicy. I like spicy stuff. Okay, so we're going to test this again. This time we should see different instances for everything. So there's the forest. Sorry, I said different instances for everything. I meant no two locations should have the same instance. So here's the boss location for the canyon. Yep, so this is what we used to have because we added in the regular location. Oh, neat. Yeah, neat. Okay, cool. Oh, I never... What? That's weird. Oh, I have to pay the money to unlock it. Okay. I'm just forgetting. This should be the same as what we had before. Yep. It's fine. Well, I don't remember that tree pattern being there, but maybe that was always there. All right, this is the one that we had before for that, but now the regular battle is going to be different. Oh, they have different statues and stuff? Okay. Yeah, looks good. All right. Now this is the boss. Ooh. Very cool. Yeah. This one is off. Can you recheck the volcano? Oh, I might have messed something up. Well, at least looked very similar to the original one. Let me take a look. Ah, yeah, you're right. That should be different. Did I type the wrong thing? Scene paths volcano. Oh, I never used it. Sorry. Okay. How did I miss that? I looked through the changes. Did I just not see volcano in there? Yeah, I must have skipped it. Okay, sorry. Yeah. And I thought that something else changed. I was just being a doofus. Thanks for catching that, Dark. Yeah, so this is volcano boss and this is volcano regular. And same thing down here. Throwing all your stuff on the floor. What stuff? Oh, wow. This looks really cool. Yeah, very neat. Yep. And the regular waterways looks the same. Okay, now we work our way over to here. We're going to get back to the volcano at the end. Dark shared some flavor text for why you end up over here. Like all the tracks end up going to the phoenixes. I like it. And yeah, this looks like what it used to look like. That's fine. Okay, now the Yeti. So this is what we used to have. That's good. And now we have the regular one, which has the snowman with the hat. Look at that. We should have you fight 9 snowmen. Okay, looking good. And now nope, not the Inferno. The boss area, we already had this. It has a colorful trees all around it. But we did not have the regular area, which now we have. Or, yeah, no, I don't think we did. But anyway, this looks good. And then I think we had the boss version of this. I don't remember. No, we definitely didn't have the lava falls in there. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like the fire around here. Nice. And then this, which maybe people might not even do this because they might have gone to bone mode first. Okay, so now all we need to do is save and reload and go to the volcano and check that out. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. So thanks for doing this, Dark. All right. Small container with keys, a ring, a pen, some cards, that kind of thing. Had. Yeah, the reason I ask is because some cats knock like glasses, as in drinking glasses, off of a table. And if they're made out of actual glass and they can shatter, I don't know if it was to that level. Oh, that's weird. I can't fight the dragon. Did I not unlock this? Oh, no, I didn't. I just clicked some random thing. That's what I meant to click. Okay, now we'll see the dragon fight. Nice. Okay. Yeah. This is the only thing that feels out of place. This isn't even bad, and this isn't bad. This one, though, I'm going to go delete. So that's in Volcano Boss. And we just got to find the tile layer that it's on. There. Done. I don't think we need to delete the other one. I think it's fine. Okay, so now I'm the author of this commit. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not going to take credit for this. So this I definitely need to check in, and this too. Sounds fine. Okay, so manifest new instance data. And then this is remove blue mushrooms from a scene. I don't think there's anything else for me to look over here exactly. Yeah. I trust that if the scenes look good, that they're fine. So this is good. Would it feel weird if you could use quick menu shortcuts without actually showing the menu, just hovering and having the shortcuts available? So I think people would want that. I'm still torn on both implementation and whether I want to allow it. The implementation itself is probably not trivial because we need to detect which item you would have clicked if you were to click. And maybe it's not too bad. I'm not sure. But then, yeah, there's the game design question of, like, assuming the code were free, would we want that behavior for players? And I don't know. I could see it going either way. Probably just highlight would be enough. Even just figuring out what to highlight, I mean, is not necessarily easy. You need to find the closest item, but it's got to be the one that the tooltip would have shown. And yeah. 34 KPR I just submitted in case you want to review that too. 34,000 lines of code. Oh, Abby. Ow, ow, ow. Her claws are getting sharp again. She wanted to pull my hand closer to use it as a pillow. Hey, again, Xyletics. Not only 100, a few hundred. Oh, lots of meta files. Yeah. Yeah, I dare not look at these scene files. Here's what they would look like if I were to look at them. You'll see a bunch of like, in here. Yeah. There's no point reviewing this. Okay, anything else that I missed? Just the screenshots. Yeah, okay, cool. This all looks great. We now have a complete map in terms of instances. And Quickie Joe is working on the location graphics. Oh man, for the battle map. Yeah, I said oh man because of my typing, not because of anything Quickie Joe's doing. Quickie Joe's doing great stuff. All right, cool. All right, so that went faster than I thought it would. I'm not complaining. All right, so now we're back on main. I'm going to close out everything. Close out of that. Close out of this. Reload the whole project. I'm going to run the UID tool, which I don't know if we need to. But I don't want there to be any stray files. So let's do that. I think I had one UID update. I saw something and I'm not totally sure, so I figured I'd just run this and see what shows up. Because this way I don't need to do any work myself. Just this apparently, the load steps changed. And that's not even something you modified. So I must have missed that. Run UID tool. This caught a scene with the wrong number of load steps. I might as well push that. Okay. All right, so merge PR. So now after, all right, let's start this. This is my usual thing I like doing here. Click here, we select this. We go find the stream of consciousness. And we type in to do time. Oh, what's going on? All right, and now we tackle the list. What's the CS proj change? Out of date editor. I don't fully remember. I've just been ignoring it for so long now. I think it's like the wrong version is being manifested somewhere. And yeah, at some point I should probably look into that. Hey Ryan, how you doing? Okay, so let's take a look at this. Set shortcuts label text needs to be updated. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for this though. Maybe if you've never modified the shortcuts, we could have that. Oh wait, we just deleted it. Wait, really? I'm confused. Did we hide it? Maybe we hid it. I'm pretty sure. Keybinds menu. Yeah, this. No, not that. Where is it? I'm not going to find it, am I? It's something that's hidden. Yeah, I don't see where it is here. It might be something else, like shortcuts. Keybind. No, I know keybind menu is there. There was something that was supposed to... Something that used to be here. Wait. What am I thinking? It's called shortcuts label. Why am I being dope about this? Yeah, it's right there. I don't see it in this scene though. Huh. What scene does that exist in? In-game menu. Oh, I'm in the wrong menu. Oh, there it is. So what, do we just hide this? What is causing this to not show up? Huh. I don't... Oh, because I'm in the wrong spot. Oh my God, I'm just being dumb all around. Okay. Yeah, there it is. It was never hidden. I'm just being silly. You should probably add tabs. Like audio takes half the window. Yeah. You know what I call that kind of work though is unfun work. Oh man. Yeah, I have a note to talk to Kevin about this. I think I have it for tomorrow. Do I have it there? Talk to Kevin about doing this issue, yeah. The issue itself isn't too bad. Making tabs for settings may be annoying. Maybe they're not. Don't mind migrating that to a tab container. Yeah, I think it'd be really good. And then the other thing that was listed there is that when you're using the cursor through a controller, that you should be able to customize the settings. You move the keybinds menu to a tab there. Yeah. We should probably make it so that the camera keys can move this window up or down. I should definitely think about that. Especially because right now there's like no way to scroll this. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, if you're using a controller, it's possible to scroll. It's just not easy. Okay, that's something I will add. This should be fixed. Make it so that you can scroll the key bindings menu with the camera keys on a controller. Otherwise, it's really hard to use. Can you scroll the analog? No, well, one analog moves the camera and the other analog moves the cursor. So you can point at this tiny bar here and scroll it. But that's really tedious. All right, so we have zoom in and zoom out. These aren't set to anything. And if I try setting it to this, I think it's going to break something. Oh, this is another problem, which is that in order to hit confirm over here, you need to move the mouse. And by moving the mouse, you are typing an input. Oh, and you can't cancel either. Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, we have a couple of problems there. I hadn't tried that out. Key bindings menu improvements. Fix how you rebind with controller. You have to use the stick and click, both of which will be detected as rebinds for the current function. But there's no way to bind a zoom in key. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, what do we want to do about this bit right here before we even move on to that? We have, I think we just delete this. We have the keybinds menu. Otherwise, we'd have to make this dynamic. And I don't really think it's worth it. Yeah, I think we delete this. Well, it frees up a bunch of translation burden because all these strings don't need to be translated now. Okay, so let's go delete it. So this was in this whole thing, control for anchoring. Yeah, so shortcuts label, everything up to there. Shortcuts label. So this will be gone. I guess all this will be gone. Yeah. It's a shame. And that's it. Hey, cloud computing. Do people rebind their controllers? I mainly play on PC with Xbox controller, but never rebind the controllers or the keys. So the reason I imagine you probably haven't rebound them is because I think most game developers make their games for an Xbox controller where you're not bothered by the A and the B buttons. But I think that's probably the most common thing. On a Nintendo controller like this one, A is on the side, not the bottom, and X is on the top, not the side. Now, Steam lets you remap these things if you want to, but if you don't want to do it through Steam or you're already in the game, then yeah, you might remap it for that reason. As for anything else, like would you want to remap zoom in or something? Maybe, I'm not sure. Hey, Temtic. Otterly Raid, welcome in. Thanks for the raid. And hi, everybody. Link and Atomic and Yami, Panda, Merlin. Howdy, howdy, howdy. How'd the stream go? We are working on Skeleseller here, and I just merged some PRs. We have some basic controller support now, but we have a couple of problems with the rebind menu, at least for controller support. Like you try rebinding something, and in order to move the mouse with the controller here, it then activates the rebind function, so there's no way to do this. It went good? Nice. What were you doing today? Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen your stream. And for those who haven't seen Skeleseller, so I will give you a very quick demo of the game. It's a casual town management game. You can start battles. They're automated. So I can send my rogue into a battle here. It's walking to the portal. It's about to get there. I can also turn on the music and everything. Yeah, so they do battles automatically. And I'll speed this up a little bit. When they win the fight, they'll earn some items. So here we got a potion. And that potion gets automatically taken by my skeleton to the shop. And then customers can come over here and buy this stuff. And you can also help out and move items around. So here we'll get a couple of sales here. And then with the money, you can upgrade your town. You can hire new adventurers. You can, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of perks and stuff you can get. It's like we can build the town hall over here and get auto battling. And then turn on auto battling. And send our mage to a battle as well. So yeah, this is playable now via a demo. And we're trying to prep for launch, which should be probably in March. Yeah. I have issues with my keybinds upon saving it. Oh, Balla machine. Pinball roguelite with deck building mechanics. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah. I will have to take a look at that. Let me write that down. Yeah, I've always been interested in, like, I don't know. Yeah, pinball mechanics, I guess, but not pinball games. The only pinball game I liked, I think, was Pokemon Pinball. I thought that was pretty fun. Sonic Spinball I didn't like as much. That Galactic Pinball on Windows I didn't really like as much, although that wasn't too bad. But then I played a game a while ago, and I cannot remember what it was called, but it had pinball flippers for what would have been a platformer. So everywhere that you would try to control a character, there'd be like a flipper here that could flip upward, and that would launch your character up to like a platform, which actually I guess would be like a ramp, and then it would fall down to a bumper or something, and that bumper would knock something upward, and that was tedious to play. I did not like that either. There are a few of those games. Yeah, I'd never seen that sort of thing before. Yeah. What about the original pinball machine of the arcade? I like them okay. Just, yeah, a physical pinball machine. But I guess I'm not super interested. And I think part of the reason why pinball, at least regular pinball at its core, is like a score attack kind of game. And it's also a game that's very much about longevity. Like if you get 1 point over and over and over, you could technically be at a high score if you could somehow stay awake and alive for long enough to beat someone with millions of points. And yeah, it's for that reason it didn't really appeal to me. And actually a lot of classic arcade games, even arcade games on a console, are that way too. Like if you were to play whatever, Space Invaders or something, it's like, well, it was mostly a score attack at some point. Tetris, mostly a score attack at some point. Yoku's Island Express. Let me take a look. Maybe that was it. Is this the game? I don't remember. I don't remember. I probably played it through Game Pass at some point. Yeah, it could have been this. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it sounds cool. Oh, wait, no, sorry. There's one other one if it counts. Wasn't there a Kirby pinball game at some point? Yes. Oh my God, this game was great. I loved this game. I cannot believe I even forgot that it existed for a second. Kirby's Pinball Land. Oh man, what a good game this was. Yeah. And yeah, Pokemon Pinball was pretty good too. I think this is generally where I stand on racing games too. It's like if you give me a regular racing game, I'm probably going to dislike it. But if you give me something along the lines of Mario Kart or Kirby Air Riders or something like that, I'll probably be like, okay, now I can keep my attention. I think that's what it takes for pinball too. One thing about the shortcuts label, there may be some actions that don't show up in the keybinds menu right now, UI except being enter, because they're either built in or it doesn't make sense to remap them. With the label gone, how do we want to tell users about these? One idea is to show them in keybinds menu, but with a remapping button. Remapping button's disabled. Oh, I see. I think they'd find it weird that you can't remap those. Yeah, but I'm not certain. And I don't think on a controller we really need to show that stuff. It's probably just assumed. But no, actually, you probably would want to remap it. I don't know. I think we should just probably allow for remapping those. Probably just expose them like any other key and allow for remapping. Keeping in mind that they still need to work with a controller remapping them. Space Cadet. Oh, I thought it was called Galactic Pinball. Although now that I say this, I remember another pinball game that I played. Wait, what is this? Galactic Pinball exists. Yeah, Virtual Boy. Okay, yes, that's where I played it, on the Virtual Boy. But it doesn't look like that. It looks red. And I think this game was fun too, actually. And I think all this was regular pinball. Galactic Pinball. Where are actual screenshots of the game? This. Why is this so tiny? I thought this was pretty good. I think this is just regular pinball too, for the most part. Man, Virtual Boy was a crazy console, if you can even call it a console. I don't know how many of you have seen this or have used one. It was not comfortable. It came with a tiny stand and you were just supposed to press your head up against it. And it only rendered in shades of red. The controller is pretty cool. It's also surprisingly light. But yeah. More people like some sort of pinball than I thought. Yeah, I don't know if you've done market research on how well pinball games do. That I think would probably be interesting. I also wonder how common is just sort of regular pinball versus pinball with a twist. I wonder if it holds up or if it was just good because we had it on Game Boy. I used one. It was really odd and the games were not very fun. I remember liking some of the games. There was something called Vertical Force. I think that was on Virtual Boy. I thought this was really good. I liked space shooters at the time, and this one did something kind of unique. You had a ship, obviously you were shooting through space and everything, but then you could go into the lower layer of the map. So imagine your ship like shrinking down so that it's now on the bottom level, and then you could like make it come back up to the top level. So it was like you were doing it in two different planes at once. Plane being a mathematical plane at that point, not an airplane. Making it for fun, making it for Steam and sell it for cheap. I see, yeah. Also, it's probably a good time that I mentioned one of the chat rules that we have here in the nicest way possible. Okay, so I think we're just going to delete this. And if we end up adding it back in, then we'll have to think about what we're doing there. I wonder if I should make another branch for this stuff. Yeah, maybe we should get checkout -b task backlog. Okay. So get rid of the shortcuts label. Now that you can customize keybinds, we probably shouldn't have a static label telling you what the defaults are. Oh no, I understand Temptic, yeah. But that's pretty frequent, I think, that it happens in chat. With respect to the keybinds, I think there may be some unexpected consequences if we allow remapping certain built-in actions. Because in some places we also directly check if left mouse button instead of an action. Yeah, but we should probably fix those. Actually, wait a second. Left mouse button isn't considered an input. Is it? Did we bind something to left mouse? I'm not certain if we did. We might have. Is there a... Oh, can we just click this? Yeah, no, no, that's double click. Yeah, no, we never bound anything to left mouse and we never bound anything to right mouse. So yeah, anywhere that we search for specific keys, we should change, but left and right mouse can just be special. Throw out market research, player segmentation, commercialization, go to market plan, deep localization. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why game jams are really nice because on top of all of what you just mentioned, you also can throw code quality out the window if you want to. You don't have to, but like if you want to just cut a bunch of corners and make every single thing global in your game, you could. What if we accidentally hit enter, which puts a message in segments? My fingers tend to do that a lot. I mean, if it's truly an accident, it's fine. If it happens a lot, it's not like I like outright ban people. I usually just warn and then warn again, and then at some point purge, and then at some point, usually after that, they just tend to leave chat and never come back. But assuming you did come back, then I just warn you again. I mean, it's like any other kind of soft rule. Now, if you were being like outright racist in chat, yeah, I'd probably just ban you and not give you a second chance. All right, so call free children directly on a node like this for consistency, free children. So we call this in a few different places, but we always call it free all children. And now we don't have to do that anymore. And yeah, we can go delete that stuff. My first game will just go on Steam and I immediately forget about it, moving on. Yeah, and I don't think there's a problem with that. I've always said to people, for mostly any new endeavor you're going to do, is just like come up with your goals or your values. And then from there, determine what it is you want to do. Because if you don't come up with these things, then I think, how do you know you're actually achieving what you want to achieve? And your goal could just be have fun, in which case you're achieving it if you're having fun. Hey, Headless Headhunter, thank you for the raid. And hey, Mert. I hope the stream went well. I always have to check with Headless Headhunter. Is it a meeting boundary time? And it's 1:46. So I trust that they're free for 14 minutes. Is this windsurf? I don't know what windsurf is. Let me take a look. The best AI for coding. No. This is not windsurf. This isn't even AI. This is just me typing stuff in. This is VS Code that we're using. And I'm just looking through functions to find out which ones I can change here. Yeah, welcome in everyone. We are working on Scalaseller here, and today we are just doing some kind of miscellanea. There's a lot of backlog that I have because we're getting ready to launch in March, and it might sound like, oh wow, you're already tackling a backlog this many months ahead of time, but we're cutting it kind of close. I'm free at least right now. It's a slow time of recruitment. It'll pick up again in January. Oh, nice. What do you end up doing around this time of year as a result of that? Is it just like take it easy, or do you have any side projects you end up doing? Okay, so we can do this here. And can we get rid of... No, we can't get rid of anything else. Okay. So we just do this everywhere. Yeah, this should be simple. That one's already done. These two are now done. And this. Okay, so now we should never have a free all children dot free call. No, yeah, we don't. All right, so we just access these through the node. Prep, make sure my biz dev is set up, documents for companies, make plans for next year, take a break, relax for once. Basically, it's catch up on everything. Yeah, I feel like I'm in catch up mode right now too, not just in professional area, but also for personal stuff. There's a lot I have to do. What's the project all about? So this is a game that we're making called Scalaseller. And here, I'll give you the very short trailer. There it is. I'll even play this on stream for you. Here you go. This is a 15-second long trailer. So yeah, you hire adventurers, you battle, they get items, you sell them in your town, and you build up your town. And that's it. Yeah, there's a demo available if you want to try it out. I haven't played Littlewood, I don't think. I did see it though. Is this the one where like the town or the RPG has already happened and now it's post? Yeah, the world's already been saved. Yeah, I've heard of this game. I haven't played it though. I think at one point I considered whether I should buy it and decided against it for some reason. Yeah. But yeah, welcome in, Aditya. Okay, so all we're doing is we're calling this with the node extension. Change a call to free children. We now do so through the nodes, not through free all children. So this cuts down slightly on code and also makes it consistent with Kevin's usage in his latest PR. Since it's abandoned now, I don't think it's worth the $15. I paid around $3. You know, this is an interesting sentiment that I've seen happen a lot. Like, since it's abandoned, at least this particular part, does that change your enjoyment of the game? Like, this is something I've always kind of wondered about, and I've seen this sentiment on the rise. And I don't say this to criticize you. I truly wonder, like, you know, Super Mario 64 came out years and years and years ago, but as soon as it was released, it was as well as abandoned for your particular system. Yes, they made another version or two afterward, but like you didn't go upgrade your version by spending another $50 or $60. So it's like this game was pretty much abandoned the second it was launched, and it's like, oh, people still enjoy it. People still actually buy the game too. So if Littlewood never got another content patch, would you be like, well, it's just not worth the money? I don't exactly get that. It does for me since it's an RPG. Even a DLC would be cool. No, but I guess what I'm trying to say is you're saying it's not worth 15 because it was abandoned. But it was worth $15 when it first came out. I know you said you paid $3 for it, but I guess what I'm asking is like, what does the status of the project have to do with the value? Yeah, the price that you pay. I get if it's a subscription. If you're paying like $30 a month and there's no new content, then yeah, that's probably not a good deal. But if it was a one-time, like you buy it, you have it, you install it, you play it. Patches are very common and most games feel half complete. Yeah, I could understand that too. If you said it's not worth $15 because it was incomplete and then abandoned. This I can totally understand. But without the it was incomplete part, it's like if it's a complete game, yeah, why does the ongoing status matter? And like I said, I see this on the rise on Steam. Like people will leave a review saying this project was abandoned. Like don't buy it. It's like, well, couldn't you have fun? Like if Terraria is abandoned someday, would people say don't buy the game? We need to translate the files that were added. Yes, so I need to rerun the translation stuff and put those on WebLate. I think we can just call generate on that. Normalized software getting finished. Yeah, like I said, that I can understand. I could definitely get like, oh, this is an early access, so I'm okay paying less money or being kind of wary about it. But I think Littlewood was just launched, right? I'm not actually totally sure, but I don't think I saw the EA stuff there. Yeah, so this is like a complete game, presumably. And it's got a bunch of positive reviews. And also it launched 5 years ago, so it's like at some point development's got to stop. But I don't think that means that it's worth less money as a result of that. In fact, if anything, inflation is eating away at the cost. Like in 50 years, $15 is going to seem like nothing. Now, maybe they raised the price, I guess. And maybe they have raised the price. I don't actually know. I think it depends on when it's been abandoned. Like if it gets abandoned in patch 1.2, it'd be a little sus, but if it's a patch 2.4, I think it's complete. This is still an argument about completeness though, right? Like if V1 is equal to V2.4 that you mentioned, then in both cases you'd consider it complete. Like the version number is not indicative of completeness in practice. Like I recognize that theoretically V1 should just mean it's a launched product, but I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is like, let's say you took this thing, look outside, V2.4, and like that was the game at launch. And let's say it costs $15. I don't know anything about this game, so this is all just hypothetical. But like, would you say, okay, it launched, then the devs stopped working on it? Would you say it's not worth $15 now? And I think that's the kind of interesting part here. It's tough as a consumer to know when it's complete. Well, but in this case, the thing that prompted this conversation is someone who played the game. Like I have not played Littlewood, so I can't comment on how complete it feels. But this person at least paid. I mean, I assume that they played the game. But so like they played, they can know how complete it felt. And then they said they don't think it's worth $15 because it's been abandoned. That's the part that I think is tricky here. Like this is not a hypothetical anymore. They presumably like the game. They think it's worth at least $3. All right, so if I just run generate, we'll find this. Yeah, so like I said, I see this sentiment on the rise, and for all I know, these Steam reviews that comment on it are like, it was incomplete and then it was abandoned. Again, then I'd agree. But if they're like, oh, it was just abandoned, like the developer stopped working on it, it's like at some point, you know, a lot of games just take a loss to even produce. So at some point, someone's got to stop working on it. And if doing so causes all future sales to cease because people start leaving negative reviews, that would feel pretty bad. All right, default confirm, remapping, action. This might need a bit of clarification here. Yeah, this is a column header, so we got to go find that action. In fact, all of these should probably look that way. Cool. I mean, I'm actively playing some MMORPG/RPG and seeing new content is cool. The genre makes it that way. I bow down for playing games like saying TF2 is still enjoyable. I'm not sure I understand the second part of that, but you haven't really answered my question, I guess, which is like for Littlewood specifically, like why does it being abandoned make it worth less? Because it's not an MMO, right? Like an MMO relies on players to give the same feeling of the world. Caveat for most people. Some people play MMOs solo and ignore everybody else. But for most people, the draw of an MMO is that there is an economy, there are players to interact with. And most MMOs, as a result, either have a subscription or some kind of like cosmetics, I don't know, cosmetic microtransactions. Or I should say microtransactions. It doesn't need to be cosmetic. And as a result, they have ongoing monetization. But a game like Littlewood doesn't. It's just a one-time purchase kind of thing. It's not abandoned if the dev considers it finished. It's just done. I don't think gamers are probably in agreement with developers. I mean, as an example of this, like the developer of Littlewood might consider this done. And whoops, what I mean is this line here. Again, I'm not saying this to like focus on you again. I'm not trying to criticize you. I just see this because I'm a game developer and I want to understand this mentality, because pretty much what this all boils down to is at what point can I stop working on Skeleseller and not have gamers get upset and say the game is abandoned? Like, at what point do gamers consider it complete? I assume there are issues that are never fixed. Yeah, but there are issues in ongoing products that are never fixed either. And I guess there's hope that they get fixed. I get that could be a difference. But still, again, we're talking about, again, the thing that prompted this is like a game came out 5 years ago. A person in chat played it and presumably liked it. And they paid $3 and don't think it's worth $15 because it was abandoned. So again, these are the sort of facts I'm basing this on here. Like, to me, this doesn't make sense. And I know we're talking about some other stuff, but like this situation, how many people have been in this situation where like they bought a game, it was complete, they had fun, they played it to completion, maybe it took them 15 hours, maybe it took them 35 hours, and they're like, but the devs abandoned it. And why doesn't that happen with something like older console games, I guess? And I know that gaming has changed a lot since those years, but still it's kind of the same thing. Like, you know, I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and this game was pretty expensive, but it's like, you don't expect there to be new content after you play it. There are bug fixes and stuff, but like at some point they're just going to move on and start working on new things. Yeah, I don't think you'd say the game's abandoned. Hey, Wendy. Okay, cat. You should go. Yeah, good. Okay, my legs. Gamers are just clients, and clients want infinite value for $0. Yeah, I mean, and that could be true for a lot of people without them realizing it. That's kind of why I wanted to ask at least one person in chat who said this, because I've seen this on Steam at least. And yeah, I think there is this sentiment of like, I think a lot of this comes down to economics of game dev and customers not necessarily understanding what goes into games. And it's probably why it seems like a sticking point for me. Like, again, if we just look at Skeleseller, it's like 2 years of development, full time, went into Scala Seller, or will have by the time it launches. Then there's a cast of like 10 to 20 other people who helped in various capacities. And the game's going to sell for like $15, right? And then you have to consider the opportunity cost of not working at Google or something like that, because that's a company I left to work on this game. And it's like, these economics will pretty much never make sense. And like, that's okay. This is a mindful choice I made. But this scenario is playing out to some extent, not necessarily 2 years, not necessarily 10 to 20 people, not necessarily $15, and not necessarily Google. But all of these general things are playing out for almost every game you see on Steam that's not made by a AAA company. And it leads to, I don't know, just like the term race to the bottom gets thrown around a lot, but I kind of feel like it's a race to the bottom. Like, how cheaply can we produce a game? And by the way, this is what's going to steer more people toward AI, is like cutting costs. And then gamers are going to be enraged about that. Wouldn't abandonment need zero user base? That's abandoned by players. Abandoned by a dev just means they're not going to build it anymore. I think if you finish it and make it feel like it's complete, like the last update says final version or complete, you can look at Steam for a look outside, which even in the thumbnail says final version. It's the appearance of being complete. Yeah, and again, I wonder, I don't know if this person has left the chat already, but like, the person who chatted about this say that Littlewood felt complete? Because they mentioned DLC. Like, DLC implies that, yeah, it's just more stuff to do. And almost any game can get more stuff. Even that Look Outside game could probably have made a version 2.5 or a 3.0 or something. They could have still built on the mechanics or systems or characters or something that they had. That doesn't mean that it was incomplete to begin with. It just means that you can always add more. And I know that might sound like I'm negating myself just by saying that. If you can add more, it means the game wasn't complete. But I don't look at it that way. Or else World of Warcraft hasn't been a complete game for the 21 years it's been out. But I think it was a complete game at any of these expansion milestones that came out. It's a complete package, and now the dev's working on a new project. Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps it's the idea that many AAA devs lower their $60 price tag over time to less, with Nintendo being the exception, so they expect the same for indie devs. But that still wouldn't have to do with it being abandoned, right? That would just have to do with time passing. Like, the game could still be getting actively developed. Cloudsec Ninja. And take care, Headless Headhunter. Yeah, thanks for the raid. Thanks for talking. And good luck with the catching up on everything. I totally get it. Yeah, I guess this is kind of what I'm getting at. And I'd say the exceptions are if the game is incomplete or if the game requires ongoing content. Like early access or an MMO. Yeah. Anyway, interesting discussion. Okay, so if I plug this in over here, what do we have? Yep. This should also be changed. Yeah, I should change a couple of these. Cannot, this should be errors. Any other TR calls I should do? Remapping. These are column headers. Error. Yeah, that's good. Hey, kazoos. I want shorter games with worse graphics made by atoms that are paid more to work less. And I'm not kidding. Slight tangent. What's on my thumb clusters? If you take a look at this, this has all of the thumb cluster stuff here. So this is a dedicated key for entering the number layer. Then the next one over is space when I press it. And when I hold it, it enters the navigation layer. Then this is a dedicated key for entering the function layer when I press it. This is a dedicated key for shift. This is a dedicated key for the navigation layer. I actually don't really use this one. Wait, do I use this one? No, never mind. I do use this one. Okay. And then this is a dedicated key for entering symbols. So 4 of them are dedicated layer keys. 1 is dedicated shift, and 1 is a dual function key. Most modern games have an online element, which is fine. In general, I prefer to just play. By the way, please don't segment your messages. Most newer games just don't keep my attention for very long. Just my opinion though. Yeah, I want to do a video on this pretty soon that talks about why I don't think a lot of games have kept my attention. And I think there are a bunch of different things. I don't really have much of a point for making it other than it's been thoughts on my mind. Hey, Zach Yellick. AAA games should actually cost more if everyone got paid and wasn't sustained on almost volunteer work. Yeah, this is part of the race to the bottom I mentioned. Like, it takes a lot to get these games together. We're going to say categorize some translated strings. I think there are more than just these, though, in the keybinds files. I should probably just look through the PR again. Yeah, here. And I just want to find any TR calls that existed. Can we... How do we search for this? I don't think you can just do this. But I don't think there's like a search through files, is there? Because this only searches through the names. Man. Yeah. I know I can use the browser built search, but I don't think that's going to work for this. I guess let's just only show the CS files and expand them all and just search for TR. Okay, these we looked through. Those are fine. That's fine. And that's apparently everything. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now I regenerate this again. There we go. Game may be done. I agree there are more games, or there are games, too many games are finished and still fun. That's why I'm not saying, hey, release an update for free. I'm okay for a paid DLC. The argument is that depreciation is a thing even for games. Might be worth 15 when it first came out. Okay. I see. So in my mind, the way I'm interpreting your answer is it doesn't have to do with being abandoned. It has to do with time passing. So if the dev still made content, it's almost like you're getting DLC for the $15. I see what you mean. Yeah, I can understand that. And that's fair. And that's why I wanted to ask about this stuff, because I truly want to get why people are talking about this. Because in my mind, what I've seen in these Steam reviews is basically like, game was abandoned, don't buy this. I see this sort of sentiment that mentioned, and there is no nuance to this. It's just, if the game's abandoned, that means it's a red flag. So don't go buy this game. There isn't a talk about why they feel this way. There's no way to drill into that. And it's just, one negative review amongst a sea of reviews. So you can't really put too much stock into it. A long time passing since last update is basically abandonment for me. Yeah. No. I think I get your point now. And I'm not trying to like misrepresent it here. I see this as being the reasoning for this. Like, yeah. Anyway, I don't think I have probably too much else to say to that. Yeah. Okay, so these should have been categorized, right? These are individual keybinds. This is fine. We should have message context here though for the tab titles. Where are they? Why don't I see these? Okay, well, what am I looking for? Action, I guess? No, there it is. All right, cool. Generate new translation. Oh, before I do this, I should always pull, right? So I don't run into a problem here. Oh, except there is nothing to pull. I'd have to go to Weblate. Valve discounts their entire game library for $1 every year. I believe there's a reason for that. Yeah, although I don't think you can really look to Valve for what they do when it comes to economics. Valve makes billions every year. The average indie dev doesn't make enough to cover costs. Like, if an indie dev could lower their games by $1 every year, one, after 10 or 15 years, they'd all be free. And two, then they wouldn't be making any money when they release new games for people who go back and check out old games from that producer. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm not trying to say this negates your argument or something. Valve can make all of their games free and still make way more money than anyone's ever going to see in their lives every single year. So, yeah. Very different economies there. All right, let me go see if any other strings have been translated. I got to eventually figure out the workflow for this so that I don't start breaking stuff. Yeah, I think Hideo has been doing a little bit more here and there. Let me take a look. Activity. Recent changes. 2 minutes ago. Okay. Then I need to figure out how I'm supposed to do this so I don't break things. Well, I guess I could try it this way. We could push to, yeah, because Weblate shouldn't have a problem with this. All right, I'll try this out. So update translations. These mostly have to do with key bindings. All right, so push should show up here. It's not because I'm on some different branch and I got to make a pull request now. Get status. How did I mess this up? So if I try checking out main, it's going to complain that I didn't mean to do this. Yeah. Checkout -b. Yeah, let's just do get branch and then call this, I don't know, update translations. Then I'm going to close all the other branches I have. Yeah, already exist. All right, now we go to that. I do not like this workflow. Hey, Flair. Are you feeling okay? Marty, sorry for the question spam. Oh, do you want me to take a look on stream? Hang on, engage privacy mode. Let me make sure that this is okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, if you want me to take a look on stream, I can. I probably will, because you're probably not going to say yes, but I'm probably going to do it anyway. Unless you don't want me to. If there's something private, for example. Unpopular private server, also like 40, 50 player count. Yeah. That's not limited to Valve, except from Factorio. I've seen many indie devs do that also. Not an indie, but Hogwarts Legacy did that exact thing recently. Yeah, they've probably had a lot of success. Like I said, you probably don't see the average indie dev doing this. The average indie dev probably wouldn't do this because they can't afford to. But yeah. Hey, I'll go dev. Yeah. Hey, InfCat. I think the abandonment discussion came here because of how common the service model is and how rampant not finishing early access titles is, but it is, in my view, overly widened. Some titles are just released pretty much finished, and the expectation to still be getting something extra for it is not always reasonable. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I agree with the general sentiment. I think what Merritt is saying here, there is nuance to it that is difficult to explain, which is that like a digital, at least this is my understanding, a digital product shouldn't retain its cost forever if it isn't being actively developed. And yeah, and the reason that I don't necessarily agree, even though I now understand the point, is that $15, assuming you don't adjust it for inflation, it will feel like less as inflation eats away. So if you consider what a game was, you know, $50, I mean, there's literal inflation calculators out there. You could just go to any one of these, I guess. But yeah, we could look at what was in like 1990, something cost $15. Then now it'd be like $37. So anyway, you can extrapolate into the future. Maybe our $15 is going to feel totally different. And I don't know, maybe inflation is, none of this matters. My point is that, yeah, in 10 years, $15 is going to feel cheaper, such that that's essentially like lowering it by $1 every year. Like coffees didn't used to cost $5 and now they do. I don't care, whatever's easier for you. Also, you can use get pull prune so your local branches are deleted. Really? I did not know that. Oh wait, but I want them to be deleted from the repository as well. That won't get deleted, right? Like I want them to be pruned from here. And if they do that, then that's great. Did I even merge that? I did merge that. Yeah. Okay. So get pull prune. Already up to date. It's not going to prune them from here though, right? No, yeah. I want to eventually get rid of those. I think gamers are kind of spoiled because businesses are getting much more slop software for insane cost. So I want to say that I agree with this first part, but separately at least, gamers are spoiled, and I don't think they realize all the ways in which they're spoiled. And I'm a gamer too, but I try to at least be aware of some of this stuff. And just one very minor example is how I see people discussing games in any online forum. It really doesn't matter the forum. Like Steam forums, a game specific forum, Reddit, any of these places, there's just the most entitlement I've ever seen out of customers. It's just crazy to me. On the general settings, you can find a section called pull requests, PR, select or deselect, automatically delete head branches. Oh, cool. Okay, I will look into this. Thank you. Write this down for tomorrow. The worst part about making games is you have to make them for gamers. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Flare. I haven't slept in 48 hours. Yeah, I hope the doctor can help you. Hey, tripod, excuse me. Tripod. Another potential point to consider is that many indie games are designed to feel almost endless. Roguelites being a good example. They have an end, but forever suggest there is more. Yeah. Yeah. I got a review for Skeleseller that was actually positive, and this person left a review that was pretty similar to the one they left for me. And I don't know if I can find it quickly. Let me see. Ah, I can't, and it doesn't just let me keep scrolling down. So I'd have to like search for all reviews. Why doesn't it let me keep scrolling down? That's weird. This is not 61 reviews, right? Oh, it says past 180 days there. How do I find all of them? It's already set to lifetime. How do you do this? I don't know what I'm missing. Why is this not up here and I can click X on this? Oh man, there's got to be a better way to do this, right? How do you see all of the reviews? Can I do it through here? Ah, here we go. Okay, this is what I want, I think. And then we can just sort by all most recent. Okay, I'm very confused now. How is most recent not showing a single review? Am I being dumb right now? Isn't there like a browse all? I thought there should be. I don't know why reviews isn't showing anything over there. I don't see anything for it though. I know I can click through here and click different things that show up, but like, is there not a way to see everything? Huh. Go back and select most recent all time. Go back to the page I was just on. There's most helpful all time. Well, that also says no content. What's going? Is this for? Is this? Oh, this is for the wrong thing. Okay. I think I know what's going on. It's because I have a demo for an unlaunched game. I think that's why this is happening. Because if I went over here, there are actually no reviews here. I have to go to the demo page, and the demo page doesn't have a community hub. So I actually don't know how you see all the reviews. I guess you do probably have to click through one of these things somehow. Date range, maybe. Okay, I still don't know what's going on. I'm done. I don't care. I'm not going to show the review. Anyway, someone had said something like, this game looks like it's going to be easy to make graphics for, so I hope they have a lot of content. And I just thought, you've got no idea what goes into making all this stuff, do you? Because it's not just graphics. Yeah. Yeah, the browse all probably shows for released games is my guess. Yeah, just add more. Okay, so I've pushed this. I've got the new branch. I want to go answer Hideo's question, so let's go look at these. Looks like I don't have permission to translate glossary terms. Yeah. Okay, so I got to go give Hideo access to that really fast. This I want to be careful about giving out. Oh, InfCat, thanks for subbing. And welcome in. Much obliged. Okay, so I'm gonna go give Hideo access. Users, Hideo, teams, add user to glossary. Done. Okay, you now have access. Fixed. Okay, and then Hideo sent a bunch of questions that he said I could look at on stream, whatever's easier for me. So hurls a fireball at a single enemy for damage. What is damage here? Coming back to pluralization. UI doesn't show any plural for this one, so if it's a number, I should assume it's strictly greater than 1. I guess same question for heals the adventurer in your party for lowest health for this much health. It's a number strictly greater than 1. So yes, they're numbers, and they probably can't ever be 1. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, at least not in those specific cases. Improves 0 such you now kill enemies. This one confuses me. More health compared to 1. Compared to what? Oh, so this refers to execute, which executes enemies with 8% health remaining. So it's more than the 8%. I'll just take a picture of this. All right, I'm going to paste these into there. This is Fatal Strikes. Oops, that didn't work. This is Fatal Strikes, which refers to execute. I've attached the screenshots, which should make it clearer. All right, allow this many adventurers. I guess this one is strictly equals 1. Yes, it is. I don't actually know why we parameterized that. You describe what a dud perk is? So this is a perk that does literally nothing. It just pollutes the pool of perks so that you may have to spend a reroll token getting rid of them. Your lowest level adventurer will be given 0 level up perks. This one's not using plurals. Missed her on purpose. Missed. Yeah, I gotta change that. Sorry, I'm ignoring chat for now. Give me a sec. Translation things to fix. It actually doesn't even belong here. It belongs here. I wonder how many other places I did this. Just search for... find other instances like this. Is there a difference between perks and upgrades? If yes, could I get some examples of the two highlighting the differences? Are upgrades a category? Yeah. What'd you do? The translation is temporarily closed or contributions due to maintenance. Please come back later. Could not merge a repository. Oh, God. I've messed up. Uh-oh, man. Oh, hey, you found the review. Yeah, thanks. I'll leave that on screen. This is the thing I was talking about, which said, it's of course early 90s cheapest chips graphics, so expecting way more content and reflective price tag. They left this comment, this almost exact same thing on another game that I saw them post a review for. Thanks for finding that, ABC. I think it appeared even before you changed. Oh, yeah. It had to do with me pushing, probably. Is it bad to add the game to wishlist and not buy it? I know it's good to add to wishlist, but does not buying it change anything? I don't think there's a reason for you to add it to the wishlist if you don't plan on buying it. Like, I don't think it's going to help me. Let me put it that way. Oh, man. Okay, well, I could try clicking push, but I think this is going to fail. Could not rebase local branch onto remote branch. So what do I do in this case? I don't know what to do. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know what to do. So Weblate can't push. I don't know how you fix this. What do they mean about being obsolete? So this was way back when all it could do is improve customer speed, worker speed, and double your loot. And by the time you unlocked it, I think at that point in the demo, you were already pretty much at the end of it. But yeah, that was mostly just it's a demo kind of thing. So I'm not really concerned about that. Plus it's going to be removed from the demo. All right, so Weblate rebase. I don't know what we're supposed to do here. Let me search a proper search engine. Maybe you have an error to check their FAQ, random thought. Well, it says it can't rebase it, and I'm guessing I need to somehow manually rebase, and I don't know how you even do this through Weblate. Cannot merge or rebase, issue number 4030. Yeah, it needs to be merged or new commits, but when I rebase with a button on the right, I see could not rebase. No other information. You need to resolve it outside Weblate. What? How do I even do this? Already encountered it. The easiest way to solve it locally on your machine is to add Weblate as a remote repository. Merge it into upstream and fix any conflicts. They do have it on disk, but this is running in a Docker container. And the last time I tried interacting with it, it said I had some permissions issue. Oh, man. Oh, this is so bad. WLC. What even is WLC? I'm using a volume. I can access the volume. It's just Weblate is doing something extra, and I'm not sure what to be able to push to my repo. So when I try doing it from the command line, it just says I don't have permissions. It's a Weblate command line client. Oh, wait a second. Don't I have these same things through the Weblate shell command? I think I might. I can't realistically do this on stream. I think this is going to potentially leak things if I do. So I'm going to have to write this down for some other time. Oh man, I have so many things to fix. Fix Weblate and write a guide on how to avoid this. I should just be able to merge the Weblate side of things first. WLC is the Weblate command line. I wonder if the Weblate shell command is the same. Oh man. Okay, let me write this stuff down. Permissions in terms of the version control. Is there like some token or something on the container that maybe needs to be set? I'm not totally sure, because here's what caused me to even discover that. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, that's right. The other day I had some changes in Weblate and I tried hitting the commit button and it just said something like the repo is locked. I was so frustrated because I did not want to encounter a problem at the time. I was trying to do something else completely. So now I had to stop everything I'm doing and try to fix this. And I looked into everything. I learned a bunch of stuff. And after half an hour, the problem just fixed itself. And I don't know what happened. So I wrote in my notes all of the stuff that I encountered. It's here in the Weblate note. And at the bottom of this, I just said after that and waiting for like 20 minutes, it just magically worked again. In conclusion, I think waiting for some amount of time fixes this. So yeah, this was another sidetrack from the other day. And now I'm going to have to sidetrack myself this time too. But I got to learn this workflow because I can't just stop everyone from translating stuff. At least better hitting this now. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And yeah, I have a lot of stuff to do. Okay, anyway, is there a difference between perks and upgrades? So yeah, upgrades are these. Yes, there's a difference. And then there's also unlocked perks. Yeah. So there are 6 upgrades. They're basically, yeah. Well, I'll just list them out. They affect a new bone mode run. They make you start with more battle perks, or workers, or customers, or town perks, or adventurers, or buildings. Those are the 6. Yeah. Hey, Entail. You have variance 0, 1, whatever ends in 2 to 4, anything greater than 4. Yeah. I just learned about some of this stuff recently, and I wrote a bunch of notes on this. Where is it? Yeah, here. Like, you probably recognize these words. I don't. But yeah, this is the plural form for Polish. If n is 1, then it uses, it's the 0th form, so it's singular. Otherwise, if n%10 is greater than or equal to 2, or less than or equal to 4, so 12, 22, yeah. Otherwise, these are the rules for how to do plurals in Polish. Sounds crazy to me. Okay, what are floating texts and what are they used for? I kind of imagine them as static effects floating over characters in battle, but a lot of them are verbs, which sounds kind of weird. They are indeed for something like status effects. Any that are weird, you should tell me about. I generally opted for brevity, even if it broke consistency, since battle windows are small. Also, they don't always show in battle windows. Some show in the world, e.g. New game. We go build this. We need the money. We need to turn that off. I just want a picture of one of these. There we go. Okay, so pictures I've attached. See the first and second screenshots, which should make it clearer. And there's a third screenshot somewhere. See the third picture. All right, value has a description. Can you add an example to in a dedicated field or an example to the description? Same for this. Yes, but I'll have to do this after fixing web. Cry. Oh, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. Oh, man. Where's the other translation thing that I have here? Yeah, this. I should add screenshots to Weblate. Also, just to test this feature. If I know French, it's short to use both of them, then yeah, you could just use either one. But yeah, otherwise, it's just like the smallest possible word to represent the thing. Yeah, okay, so I don't need this then. Okay, how much gold you have? Is G a string or an asset / icon? Not sure if it should say G or become O. All right, for that one, we have a gold string somewhere. Can I still at least search through this? Yeah. All right, gold? No, I don't know how to search for this. Oh, wait, maybe like that. No. Oh, I'm searching the glossary. I'm not even searching the right thing. There it is. It's the letter that you use for this string. Just needs to match the letter that you use for this string. Okay. And then won their first battle and found a potion. Where do you sell it? What is 0? Could be important for masculine or feminine. 0 is either mage or rogue. This is going to be a problem, isn't it? Depending on which adventurer you chose. Even if those have the same gender in French, they may not in other languages. Should I like make another string for the 0 and then use that here? I can't move the mouse because the cat's on the cord. Sounds like it should be multiple strings. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and then the... All right, I'll just delete that. I should turn these into multiple strings. This problem probably exists in many spots in the code base. It cannot be split like you said. I need to know. I need to know where the problem is. I'm gonna send this as 2 messages because just because it won't all fit. So the pictures are all gonna be in 1 message. Okay, there we go. There afterwards could always change. 0 could be anywhere in the string in other languages. I wonder if we should just make it generic. We should probably just change it to like your adventurer won their first battle and found a potion. Or just you won your first battle. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, it's not really you though. I don't know. I'll have to write this down. We can't just parameterize the 0 here. Need 1 sentence for each. Okay, we could either make 1 string for the mage and 1 for the rogue, or we could change it to something like you won your first battle, even though it's not you. Come on, sit down. Come on. Yes, good cat. Oh, what a good cat. What time is it? 2:40. What are you doing here already? It's not your beg for food time. Hi. You want to sit down? Do you? I don't think she wants to sit down right now. All right, so translating the files. Get your claws out of me. There, good cat. Man, that Webblade thing. I kind of want to try fixing it now. I don't think it's a good idea. I think I only run the risk of leaking stuff. Wait, hosted Webblade. I don't even use hosted Webblade. This is going to be a huge pain, isn't it? Probably will be. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it now. I think the other thing is it's just going to be annoying to do, and I'm not going to be streaming for like an hour and a half, and it might take me a long time to fix. Man, one of the problems that I have, though, is I want to get back to content creation this week, and I think tomorrow is a wash. But like on Thursday, I want to make a new YouTube video if I can. And eventually I want this to feed into the marketing of Skeleseller, except for I had one other video I wanted to make. New song, no. Not a new song. Although I'm a little disappointed. I've mentioned this before, but the synth I bought, the software is still not working correctly, such that it's more tedious to make music. So I think I just have to suck it up and do it anyway, because I have another track I want to finish making. All right, here's where I think we stand now. I think I need to just do random little things, or else I'm going to start going crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. Hey, Artur. Can cats cut deep? One time I was trying to be friends with a stray cat, and I don't know if it was attacking me or playing with me. Every time I gave my hand, it would just hit it with its claws and just made scratches. Yeah, cats can cut and bite, and they can do some serious damage, especially if they infect whatever they cut or bite. In general, if you have a house cat, you would just cut its claws typically, and then, you know, ideally it wouldn't bite you, but they always kind of swipe every once in a while. There was the snowman. Yeah. That's one of the things I want to get rid of. Okay, so the list has expanded. Let's get the new character count. Isn't this fun? Ran into translation issues. Grown. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, let's just tackle what we can tackle here. So, did I write this down? No. All right, well, the snowman is done. Flavor text being better, more aesthetic arrangements. I still need to do this stuff. This is like off-stream work. I think I got to put more time into Skeleseller. Someday this list will be empty. Yeah, someday. I thought we plant potions, or do we get less plants per potion? Should probably clarify the tooltip. Do we even use this anymore? Seeds cost. I think we changed this already. Yeah. Never have cut their claws. Wow. Yeah. I accidentally played an easy run yesterday because I couldn't just. Ow, 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 ow. Speak of claws. Jeez. Just trying to lick my wrist. Yeah, I don't think this matters. As unlocked challenge mode true, make sure this is happening from the right place. It should be when you beat story mode, and it should probably be accompanied by explaining that it was unlocked. It shouldn't happen in the tip system, just in case you can ever turn that off or cause a tip to be skipped. I don't think we finished this. I don't remember. Beat story mode. Yeah, what's that? Beat story mode tip. Congratulations, you've completed story mode. You have now unlocked bone mode. Try it from the title screen. Okay. Wasn't the seed cost about what value each potion gives to the extractor? It was about the wording of the old specializations that we had in challenge mode. It said something like seeds cost 3G up from 2G, and she was confused by that. And it's since been rephrased to say something like get fewer seeds from each potion. So that's, yeah, that's been fixed. I don't think I'm going to change this. I think I'm going to leave this as is for now. Oh, what happens if people don't know that it was unlocked, though? I think I'm going to make a new issue, and we're just going to say, make it absolutely clear that bone mode has been unlocked. There's, what's this thing called? Beat story mode tip? Already, but I'm concerned that people won't see it or they'll dismiss it. We should probably have the guild master tell you about this. Maybe he gets an exclamation mark over his head so that you know to click him. Maybe the slime has one just so that, I don't know. Add Yeah, I don't know where we put this. I'll just create that. All right, so we can mark that as done. We should probably use a variant of highlight button on the perk or skill buttons to make it more obvious they can be clicked. Yeah, this is still one of the problems I think we've had for a very long time, and this has bugged me for a while, but it's kind of just polish. But I think it's polish we really need to do before launch. The skill buttons are not obviously clickable. And I will show exactly what I'm talking about here. So when you hover over this, there's a tooltip and the cursor changes and you can click it and you can right click it to remove points, but it's not clear that you can do that. So a lot of people read this and then go down to the plus button and click. And if we just had a proper highlight state for this, then it would make it much more obvious. So yeah, I'm going to write that down. Where is that? This is probably already done. And that's already done, right? Yeah. This was done somewhat recently when I allowed leveling up the town hall. And what is this thing called? Perk constants? Yeah, perk constants. Task backlog. Okay, so see this file. Close. All right, allow leveling the town hall. I did this recently in a PR somewhere. I don't know where I did it. PR merged. Was it fill out story mode? I don't remember. There's like a million changed files here. I guess we can just look at this file history. Yeah, fill out story mode. So 1185 in 1185. Close. Okay, why did I even open that though? Oh yeah, the highlight button. I wanted to see if there was an issue for this already, and I did not find one. Yeah, I don't see it. We had a close issue about it at some point. Am I in closed issues right now? Yeah. Huh. I don't see an issue for this. Could have sworn we had one. 470. Oh, yes. Thank you. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So I'll just make a new issue. Get obvious that perk icons are actually buttons themselves. This is similar to this. Right now, people see this UI. I need to take a picture slightly to the side. Whoops. Then they hover over a skill, decide they want it, and move the mouse to the plus button. If we had proper hover states, perhaps using a variant of this, then people may realize that they can click the icon itself. Okay, so mid-August notes, mitchfeedback.txt. Wonder if I can show this on stream. We'll go take a look really fast. Sorry, I'm reading this really fast. I shouldn't do this on stream, just in case. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So yeah, I should do this later. Process this. All right, but I did write a bunch of other things down here. This is mid-August 2025. I should keep that there. Oh, it's probably in the file created date. Okay, what else is written there, though? He wants a whole location on the battle map to stay highlighted, not just the flag. Yeah, I think that'd be nice, too. Could also help, assuming the plus button has a hover effect. It has a very subtle one. But I don't think it'd make it clear that you could right-click this, although we might not need to do that. But I'll copy-paste that into the issue. Because that's a good idea. Okay, so whole location to stay highlighted. Let's just search for battle map and see if there's an issue. Add thin outline to see. Yeah, it's already there. When did I file that? July 6th. Okay, well, it's already filed. Wants to be able to scroll more quickly with the arrow keys, especially on the Steam Deck. Ooh, I wonder if that's going to be an issue with proper controller support. I'll write this down when we get to testing this. Steam Deck. Yeah. Mitch said in August that he wanted the battle map. No, wait. Maybe he didn't mean the battle map. Wanted to be able to scroll or to pan the camera more quickly, presumably in the town map. See if that's any better with zooming. Where's the rest of the feedback? Gotta scroll down and find it again. Okay, here it is. Wants normal mode to have some kind of end game, even if it's just watching numbers go up. Yeah, we have a tiny bit of that. I'll just delete this for now because it's on my radar already. For the main mode, we probably do need workers not to take keys immediately. That's already been fixed. Suggested adding the character portrait to Steam's point shop if that's possible. Oh, that's a good idea. I don't think we have that written down. Point shop. Is that what it's called? What is it called? Oh, it's called the Steam Point Shop. Yeah, okay. Consider adding character portraits to the Steam Point Shop. Mitch suggested this in August 2025. This is the point shop. Wanted to be able to select all guild supplies at once and send them to a guild. We're not doing this. We don't support Steam Cloud. Is that already written down? Yep. Invincibility isn't even that crazy if we were to give it out. I don't care about this. Also, Kyle wants a way to swap items on the mouse with one of the destination. Swap? Yep. Already written down. Update. We got this feedback from 2 more people in August of this year. It's safe to say that players want this feature. All right, done with that. Auto purchasing a chest doesn't consider selective loot. Purchase treasure chest needs to keep in mind the last selected adventure. Party section is nulled out. I think we already did this. I'm going to close all these tabs that we have open. And this too, I guess. Oh, no, not that one. Yeah, I think we fixed this. Purchase treasure chest. Huh. Party section is not null. Use this. Or just update it. Otherwise, yeah, this is done. Upgrade the portal to unlock this location. That tooltip should be clearer since you unlock locations now. Where does this show? Upgrade the portal? Uh-oh. What? Upgrade the portal to unlock this location. When does that show up? You must beat the latest location. Okay, there are a couple problems, maybe. Just our terminology is not consistent here. All right, so that's one. And then wait, where does this show up? If it contains a previous one. Oh, I see. I think you just need to beat this and then hover over this. No, I don't know where this shows up. All right, so let's take a look. If it should show rewards, otherwise if you've unlocked it, otherwise you haven't unlocked it. It says beat the prior location. I don't think this is even correct. Yeah, I don't think this is correct. I'll probably have to look at that. Man, Abby's meowing like crazy right now. I fed her so much extra yesterday just to see. Like there are these little churu treats. I gave her one of these. I gave her slightly more of her other treats and then like her normal amount of food. And she's just like, no, Adam, it's 3 o'clock or whatever it is. Yeah, almost 3 o'clock. That means I must start meowing. Hey, Pretzel. Okay, well, all of this logic probably needs to be changed. Although now is probably the time to change it if we're ever going to do that. So this shows up all over the place. This one doesn't seem to show up. Let's put a breakpoint there because I don't know how you even cause that to show up. Yeah. I don't see anything. So this is never true? It never contains a previous instance ID? Well, let's put a breakpoint there then. Oh, maybe it's when you save and load? Oh my God, really? No. All right, well, what does it think we beat? None of them? Oh, because we haven't loaded yet? Now it gets hit again. Eventually, this will probably have something in it. I think it's getting updated for every single one of these, and then it's going to get updated again later after we started loading or something. I don't know. I'm just going to turn this off. So I think I know what's happening. I think that the tooltips get set up originally, and then we don't update them when you beat a location. We have update tooltip here, though. So do we update it when you beat a location? What calls this? Update instance tooltip? Oh, yeah, we do. What? Oh, we only update it on one instance, though. Oh, that's a bug. Okay, yeah. This tooltip can't even show up. I'm not going to bother fixing this right now, though, because it doesn't really matter yet. Can't even show up because... Where's it come from? Here. Instance map on ended battle. I can hear the meows, yeah. Calls this with the current location, but we need to update the next location. You know what, though? What if... Can we just change this in a way that's easier? Yeah, you sure that's not me? I'm a ventriloquist for cats. Upgrade the portal to unlock this location, or beat the prior location to unlock this one. Maybe, how about we just cut both of those out and we just say note text equals tr, this location is still locked. Tooltips. And then delete all of this. Because it doesn't really matter, and it's not very difficult to understand how you do this. So let's go see how that looks in English, at least. Because then, yeah, this is going to simplify the translations as soon as I fix that whole mess. All right, new game. What are we looking at here? So this says this location is still locked. And then the button says you must beat the latest location before being able to upgrade. Okay, so let's... Well, saying it's locked is a little bit strange. Maybe say this location must be unlocked. Do we even store beaten instance IDs? Yeah, we do. The problem is that what happens is you beat the forest. We need to update the tooltip of the canyon in that case. But we only update the forest. Does it say the latest or the previous? This one says you must beat the latest location before being able to upgrade the portal. It could say previous. In my mind, they both mean the same thing. But also, to be fair, I don't think people are going to be too confused by this. The starting tutorial does lead you through how to do this. And eventually they'll realize, like, I'm not progressing. And I do think if you see this, it'd be like, all right, I got to start a battle here. Actually, it's not even really possible for you to... You could see this, I guess, but you're forced to fight a battle in the forest, or the game doesn't let you progress at all. Anyway, then this tooltip should change. It says you must... Yep, there, just change while I'm hovering over it. Unlocks this location so that you can battle here. All right, so how about that? Instead of this location is still locked, this location must be unlocked before you can battle here. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And then the thing about the latest location, where is that? Yeah, here. You must beat the latest location before being able to upgrade the portal. You must beat the, yeah, let's say prior. I think it's fine. Okay. Okay, so that makes it so that we don't need to do anything else here. Improve battle map tooltips. One of the tooltips that we tried to show wasn't actually possible to hit. When the player beats a location, it would update that location's tooltip, but it should have updated the next location's tooltip. We got around this by just using a static tooltip for when a location is locked. More UI string shenanigans. Well, in this case, we've actually cut down on the number of shenanigans because it used to be an if statement with 2 different notes. Now there's just 1 note. So web late should get easier. Should. All right, if only one adventure is offered to you, you should probably force them to be selected. We did this. This is super important. I just got another complaint on Discord about this pretty recently. And I didn't hear back from them, although maybe they said something since then. No, yeah. They said, I found a bug. Doesn't let me select the second adventure. A lot of people have hit this problem, and I have fixed it. We just can't push the new demo version until I fix the graphics, too. So how do I show this? Over here, yeah. So over here, it's pretty clear that you have to click one of these because it says, do you want to hire another adventurer? And like, it doesn't know which one you want. So people click and okay, great. But then for the second one, it wasn't obvious. And now it's selected, but I just don't have the money. So as soon as I get the money, now I can hire them. So that's what that bug was about. That's now fixed. If you grab an item and then press escape, the cursor's still the grab cursor. Makes it awkward to click since the pointer is not obvious. I'm not going to fix that right now. I just don't feel like doing that. Consider listing rewards in the tooltips for a battle window. What? Oh, whoa. Did not mean to open Discord there. Hang on. Let me do this off screen. Thought it'd be a GitHub issue. Oh, Mysterious suggested this. She sent this screenshot. It says fighting adventurers. She wanted to see the loot. I'm not actually concerned about this. I don't think it'd be bad. I don't think it's worth the effort, and we need to cut things off of the list. So anything that's not going to be like, I don't know, a notable improvement for most people is not worth doing. Before launching the game, the demo's tip saying to wishlist the game should probably say to consider buying the game. We should also check on Steam for whether you've already gotten it. This tip should not show in the purchase version. Wish list. Remove wish list on Steam from the code base. Probably don't have many players left at this point. Okay, so yeah, I'll just write we may want to steer them toward buying the game somehow. Maybe something like hope you wait a second, don't I have something like this? Isn't there beat demo? Yeah. You've unlocked the volcano, which marks the end of the demo content. Please don't forget to wishlist Skeleseller. It should launch in March 2026. Thanks for playing. Oh yeah, we already have this in the game. Wait a second, so this doesn't even exist anymore, does it? What's it called? Wishlist on Steam? No, it doesn't. Except for the ID still exists. Oh, it's just, oh, I see. It does exist. It's just straight up text. I didn't even translate this because I didn't expect people to see this. Maybe we should just delete this now then. Yeah, I don't see a need for this. Okay, well, the game ran. That's fine. And we already did this too, so I'm just going to say this is done. In fact, let's undo that commit. I didn't even commit it. We don't need to undo anything. And I can just say, yeah, remove wishlist on Steam. Fixes that. And I'll just say we already have a tip to steer players toward buying the game. And I think we have a note somewhere about that. Beat demo. Not there, we don't. Where is it? Post launch message? Maybe it's that. Yeah, there it is. Beat demo tip. What did I search for? I searched for beat demo and that doesn't show up. All right. KW beat demo. Yeah, that's easy. We can't do that now because the game hasn't launched. Yeah, okay. So commit that. Okay. Done. Post an update on Steam just so that people know I'm still working on the game. Yeah, that'll happen once we launch the new demo. Clean up reusing locations in Skeleseller. What is this? Clean up. Everything's been done. Aha. Nice. Okay, an interesting future goal would be to have a seed code for challenges so the same choices happen. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. If you use a touchscreen and you tap an item and tap the slime to try to sell, it doesn't sell and just starts dialogue. Yeah, I'll have to try that out sometime later. Get rid of it, pretty much everything in scene paths if we follow what we did in item list row, inherit from scene script. We have like a million of these. This is the kind of refactoring that we could probably get rid of these and put them in the right files. But is it worth spending however long it would take to do this refactoring? And I think the answer is no. So I think we just delete this. And this is a kind of call that's very tough for me because I think this refactoring is good for the code base. And it's not that hard to do. And it's a task that I can just kind of like tune out and do. It's mechanical. And AI can probably do it probably mostly correctly without me even intervening. But is it worth even spending 5 minutes on this? If you could somehow promise me it'd take exactly 5 minutes, yeah, I'd probably take the 5 minutes. But the odds of that happening are pretty slim. So yeah, just not worth it. Feels bad to delete it, but I've got to get through this list. Make the design of challenge mode reflect the conclusions from here. We are almost certainly not doing this. What is this? Was this some like 80-page document? 160 pages? Yeah, we're not doing that. Oh, man. Okay, so where's the design? Yeah, I'm going to write this here. Note, I never fully updated this as the design evolved. And now that it's today, I don't plan on keeping it up to date. There, that's it. Yeah, this is work that probably had no value even when I wrote it. I don't think it's bad necessarily to add things to a to-do list that you don't plan on doing, but it's better to just never have it touch the to-do list. At the very least, when you identify that it's not worth doing, you drop it. Allow any combat mod to show up until you've chosen 5 unique ones and lock you into those. I'm not doing that. All right, change the theme of the credits menu. At the very least, it should probably look like the settings menu. I just don't want it to clash with the rest of the game. Yeah, this is the only super out of place dialogue in the game. There's one other UI that doesn't look like it fits exactly, but this one definitely doesn't look like it fits. Looks like it's from a totally different game. And it's this one. It's just kind of a plain blue. Like there is, I think, some texture in here. Yeah, you can see little differently colored pixels, but they're very subtle. And I think there are only maybe 2 of them, except for on the borders. And again, that's pretty hard to see. You can probably make these out, but they're similar. And once it's zoomed out, I can't really see them at all. So yeah, I think we just change this to the scroll or something. The only question is if this still looks good. I do like having the logo in there. I think it's pretty nice. And I don't think a logo on top of a paper scroll would be fitting. Need some text effects and RGB. Imagine if this is like speedrun.com and I let everyone in the credits customize how their name should show up. So people have like look at any of these leaderboards. Like gradient colors, and I thought they could glow. Maybe they can't glow. Okay, never mind. They're just colorful. I think it's Discord where your name can glow. But even this would be kind of funny. Kevin's got like sirens around his name. Most loyal Twitch troller. Yeah, I should add you there. In fact, I should delete everybody else. Just say team Oppressal, nobody else. Aided by nobody. Yeah, I still think this is worth doing. This is one of those things that it's kind of minor, but yeah, we probably should theme this a little bit better. I'll leave that there for now, though. I want to take care of some of the easy stuff for now. Hey, Vipop, how you doing? Change tooltip on the closed battle button to make it clear that it will flee the battle if it's ongoing and stop future ones from recurring. Let's click continue. I don't know what actually shows up now. The current battle will end and adventurers will return to town. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm not going to do anything differently there. Dark's feedback from August 2nd. Dragging instance window by label shows the tooltip with adventurers fighting. Drag it faster. I guess the mouse re-enters the title and shows the tooltip. Oh, I see. That's interesting. I think this is one of those cases, though, that I still just don't do anything about. The other thing we could do is we could make a change to tooltip on parent. We could say if the mouse is held down to not show tooltips for things. Or like don't change it, I guess. Wait, the tooltip never disappears, right? Why is it? Oh, no, it does disappear. Wait, it's really hard to... I should be able to get into a state where it's just gone, right? Oh, yeah, there we go. I don't know how I did that, though. There. Yeah. Okay, I see. You figure out the get sub module thing? No, I've made it worse. I like kind of sort of got it, but then I messed up. Yeah, I messed something up earlier today. And I need to do a lot of work to fix it, I think. Yeah. I guess the submodule part's probably fine, and it's just normal Git operations that I didn't realize how Weblate would work exactly. Yeah, time to restart the entire project. This is kind of appealing. The battle window almost perfectly aligns with the shop area. There is nothing you can do with this knowledge. Maybe we make some puzzle where if you slide the battle window entirely through the shop without moving, then it gives you an achievement. Oh man, that would be funny. What was I doing before all of that nonsense? Oh yeah, this. Okay, so should we even tackle this? I'd say no, probably not. How often does this even happen? That you can move a window that has a tooltip? You can't move by the buttons. And these don't have tooltips. And you can't move any other window besides those two, right? Battle windows and dialogues. Yeah, you can't move these sorts of things. I think we just ignore it. Oh, you're leaving already? Okay, I press. Yeah, sleep well. What I will do is I'll file a bug and then just close it. The tooltip on battle windows will hide / show as you drag the window by the title. Dark Storm reported this on 8/2/25. Don't care about international dates. It's still an issue as of today, but I think it can only happen in this one particular case, and it's not a game-breaking bug. So I'm going to immediately close this issue. Okay. Hovering over the Enchanter spellbook, then autocast Crystal will not change the tooltip. Yeah. This I'm pretty sure I know about. I've got to fix that at some point. After fighting new elites, the battle window size will stay large on new battles. That is still an issue. And I don't know if I... Man, okay, I am a little torn on this. I wonder if we should just cut out the feature where battle windows get larger when you fight a boss. So right now we're in a medium-sized battle window. We can set it to small as well. But when we go to fight the boss, it's going to make the window much larger automatically. That's not the boss. Oh, I'm not in the canyon. Whoops. Okay, yeah. So when I fight the boss, it's going to make the window larger, I think. Yeah. I wonder if we should just cut that out completely. It seems to confuse more people than it helps. And it causes some UX issues afterward. Ideally, I think the best solution would be to make it larger, but then if the user shrinks it, remember that they did that. And at the end of the battle, shrink it again. But yeah, I don't think this automatic way, it's like a half measure and it's not really great. So let's go figure out how to stop that. Is elite inside of, I don't know, instance map, battle panel tab? I don't know where this is. It's probably instance slot or something. Yeah, here it is. Increase slot size at first time elite battle. Yeah, we probably just get rid of this code. Okay, well, that's easy. It's a good thing I put it in its own function. Increases the slot size if this is the first time an elite battle is being fought, so the focus is on the new battle. This doesn't happen in challenge mode since we assume that you know it's an elite battle. Yeah, we just delete this. I noticed when the boss window is not big and docked, the window moves by 1 pixel when you switch between regular and boss. Yeah, it is related to the frame size. I don't think it's a big enough problem to address that either. But yes, you are correct. So let's say I dock this and start a couple other battles. So just that and that. And now if I start a regular battle over here, you'll see this shift slightly. Yeah. And again, I'm like, it's okay. Maybe ideally we'd make the regular frame size larger so there is no moving it around. But yeah, these are that in my mind is like, it's like turbo polish. And I do think a decent chunk of players will have it undocked where it won't even be noticeable because it's just floating in space. And it's also not noticeable if you only have one window docked. But even if you notice it every single time, you only end up fighting the bosses like 8 times, and then that's it. I guess there's bone mode, so I guess you could fight them more. Anyway, I think we're good here. Do we have anything else about large battle windows? No. Anything about battle window? You can still see it with one window. Oh, you can? Because it shifts. How do I fight a boss again? I guess we do this. You can see it shrink vertically, but that's not even a problem in my mind. It shrinking horizontally is more of a problem because windows get docked horizontally. But yeah, it's still not something I think is worth fixing. So tooltip, where do we have open issues? Here we go. Various battle window dragging issues and improvements. Doesn't immediately enter. No, okay. Showing battles you have open, makes good. Possible auto repeat battles. Mouse input while minimized. Yeah, I don't see an issue on this. Okay. Well, then let's just mark this as done. I should probably try building. All right, so what do we do? New game. Just win a battle, go fight the boss, and it should not make the window larger now. Or, well, I mean, it just changes the border is what I meant to say. And you can still change it if you want. So if you want to see the boss battle bigger, you can do that. You can also make it really tiny and ignore what's happening. Stop automatically increasing boss window size. This hadn't been coded in the best way. What we should, well, what might have been better is to remember if a user like yeah, I'm too many people are annoyed / confused about the window getting bigger, that it's just not worth keeping. Players can still manually make the window larger if they want. Also, it's more apparent now than ever that you're fighting a boss, since they show up as huge sprites on the battle map. Okay. And then farm needs drop-off area. Still true. I'll leave that there. Localize all the dialogue data instances. There should be 3 that aren't localized. I don't know when I wrote this, but it's presumably around August. And I just can't imagine that I did not find one of these. I should have. I mean, I wrote dialogue data equals. So let's search for that. Those are translated. That's not a problem. Those are translated. Translated. Yep. Not an issue anymore. Are you aware of Indie Sunday on r/games? I looked into this. They're kind of mixed reviews about this. Like, I see comments saying, I don't know, sort of dismissing this. This was, again, a couple months ago that I looked at it. But yeah, I don't know how much that might help. But I should add it to my marketing list anyway. So where is my marketing list? Scala seller marketing. Wait a second, what? I said this document is just for me. No, there's nothing private here. Show it on stream. Okay. Rami hit this in his log, possibly an intro. Hard to say since no surrounding lines gave extra info. Found the key outside the animation range. I'll leave this here for now. Playtesting and releasing. Playtest version shouldn't tell you to wishlist the game. Nothing does anymore, right? The only time we ever use the word wishlist in the entire game should be... Oh, never mind. It's right there in the main menu. It's in wishlist on Steam. Whoops. Oh, and there's no task to even remove that. I think let's just delete it now. Yeah. Yeah. Or should we? Demo tip. No, I'll write a note to fix it later. Yeah, there was this, but that was about a tip. There's another, and I just fixed that. I gotta fix remove wish list on Steam from the game menu. Feedback button in the menu. Yeah, that's already done. Yeah, I think all this stuff is pretty much done except for this. Yeah. Could you make it a review button? I don't think that'd be a good idea. I don't think I want to steer people toward reviews. But also the other issue is we're going to launch on itch and Steam, and we need a specific link depending on the version. And I only think, it sounds bad to say, but I only think the Steam reviews would matter. But yeah, I think steering people toward reviewing a game from within a game seems like bad etiquette. So I'm going to just say that this is done. Or you know what? How about this? Let's just cross these things off because he's already finished. As of this still needs to be done. Yeah. Okay. So this I'm going to write milestone pre-launch. Yeah. Okay, done. I need to think of where the playtest save file will go. We already done that. The release tool should increment the minor version when asking which build you want. Yeah, I'll do that later. If we're ever going to save or have save migrations, we should probably test them with playtesters rather than testing them with paying customers. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Okay. This I liked enough as an idea that I think I have this written down multiple times. In fact, I think we just reviewed this on Friday or something, or Thursday, in joke ideas. Yeah, I have this here twice. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I'm not going to try to format that. All right, Matt requested the ability to drop items anywhere since it's hard to pick the right one from the portal. This I don't think I'm going to do anymore. I did make a very tiny change that probably is not super helpful, but check this out. So let's say there are a bunch of items on the ground and I pick this one up. If you drop it from over here, it's going to push it farther away so that you can kind of move the item out of bounds. Oh, no, you can't move it out of bounds. Oh, well, anyway, you could eventually move it to any other walkable area if you just keep dropping it. So this is kind of a way, at least when you drop an item, it won't go to exactly where you left it. So you could get something that was overlapping something else. This is a more clear example of when you might need it. Like you just try grabbing one of these items and you're like, oh no, not that one. And then you might still grab it a few times, but then you'll grab something else. So I doubt anyone's going to actually benefit from this, but that's as much as I'm going to do because I don't want people to just drop an item like randomly on the ground. I think that'd be a little bit confusing. I guess if you had swapping items, it may also address this. Yeah. Saw a worker pick up a weapon from the warehouse when the weapon shop was full. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about right now. Quest data has a comment for gold target, even though the code no longer exists. Oh, interesting. Is that it? That's what the task was? Gold objective. What is that? Difficulty data. Show banner. Okay, that's fine though. Okay, well, that's been deleted. And we'll just copy paste this directly into the commit message and say had remove unnecessary comment. Again, cat, you going nuts? You going nuts? Time is it 3:30? 3:30 and you're going nuts? The most pitiful meow. Hi. Yeah, hi. You're a good cat. Goodbye. Okay, refactor. Town saves navigation layer and base tile map layer rather than relying on environment to encapsulate whatever they're doing. This is just never... I'm not going to do this. Yes, it'd be proper to do this differently, but do I care? No, I don't care. Update GIFs on itch. I'm using the dithered ones. This is still true as of August. Itch, Skeleseller. Yeah, wow. Look at that. And on Steam, they're different? Oh, so they are. Are they the same characters? No, they're not even the same characters. Well, they are the same character. No, no, no. That's the archer and the other one. But they're in a different order. They're definitely different. And what about this one? Is it obviously different? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. So I should just update the date on that one. Some of these, by the way, I am planning on doing the things that are left on the list, although maybe we'll prune some of these out. But the reason I'm not doing them now is because I am like 20 minutes away from feeding the cat, and I just want some easy wins. Yeah, file this for later. I wonder if it's worth reaching out to Godot. Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we should probably put that in the marketing list. Okay. Okay, so I have found out the most recent update of the game on itch, which I am playing, has a bug. I kill the boss monster. I have to reload the game for the stats to update. Please fix this. Thank you. I think they're talking about harder elites. Not updating the tooltip on the battle map. And I think it's still a problem as of today. Yeah. Need to figure out how to fix highlighting for the slimes, the guildmaster. Yeah. Play the same sound it plays when you build it. Does it play a sound? No. It doesn't. Okay, well that's easy to fix. We'll just go do that now. Fishing pond, play sound. This is when you click it, press. No, not pressed. How do we do this? Clicked. Click.invoke. What listens for this? What? Okay, I don't know about this. But do we have a way to play sounds from here? We don't ever play sounds, but that doesn't stop us from doing it. We do have the town, so we just need sound ID, and we need to figure out what the sound is when you build this, which we can look at pond sign. And where is it? No, it's here. Is there a sound in here? Yeah. Build fishing pond. Okay, so that's what we're going to play. Build fishing pond. And that way it makes a little gloop sound when you click the fishing pond. The computer does a better job at making the gloop sound. All right. I like that. Yeah. Neat. I'm keeping that. Play a sound every time you click the pond. This is to indicate that clicking it actually does something. To help indicate. Because it's not the only indication. There's also a tooltip. And it also does something. I mean, you can just tell that it's doing something. All right, done with that. When the battle windows are too large for the game window, the X button can be off screen. Maybe only for large size battle windows, we can add the X button somewhere else, but then you wouldn't be able to minimize it. Maybe we could always have the right side of the window be on screen. Alternatively, just prevent using the large size when the game window isn't big enough. I don't know when this is a problem. Maybe we can get the new build sound for the next version. You mean like the next demo version that we publish, or the next playtest or something? Oh, the mechanical one that you made, or the one with saws and stuff? Yeah, that's probably on this list somewhere. I do think that'd be nice to have. Find a better building sound. Dark made this one. Yeah. This is on the list. I would like to do this. And I don't think this is going to be very hard to do, but I don't think this is like next version importance. I think this is just before launch. Yeah. All right, when the battle windows are too large for the game window, that can be somewhere else. I don't know what we do about this exactly. because we can't detect. Actually, could we detect this? That the window's too big for the screen? Yeah, we probably can. Or like automatically shrink any battle. That's not really great though. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Any battle window that's too large for the game window. Right now, it's possible to enlarge a battle window such that you can't shrink or close it. We should detect that the top and bottom are both off screen. Wait, what happens when you do this right now? I don't actually know. But I think it should be easy enough to detect and fix this. I like the title screen music. Okay, so let's shrink the window and start a battle and make it as large as possible. And then shrink the window a little bit more. So you can't ever push the top of it off screen, but you can push the right side of it off screen. So I'll take a picture like that. We should detect that the right side is off the screen and do something about it. The simplest, well, and then shrink the window and maybe show floating text saying window too large or something. Note that the right and bottom edges can leave the screen. We could also just make it so that the left and top edges are the ones to leave the screen. That way you can always click the minus button to minimize the window. Yeah, I'll just create that. Okay. If you have the hire adventurers dialog open and use unlock all adventurers as a playtester, it'll let you hire a duplicate adventurer. This doesn't actually seem to break the game. Honestly, this is using a cheat, and I don't think we should fix problems with cheats. Right? Is this still an issue? So I have the hire dialog open. I unlock all the adventures. Now I have the mage, but then I also unlock another mage. Now we have two mages. Yeah. Hey, mostly. I know it's not on topic, but can you tell me why you're using a Word doc for the bug reporting? This is my general to-do list. Also, welcome to the stream. And I'm happy to answer these sorts of things. This is my general to-do list, and it's just the fastest possible way to put things in my backlog, especially when I'm focused on another task. So let's say I was like, I don't know, knee deep in some bug that I'm investigating, and all of a sudden I notice an issue like, oh, the pond isn't playing sound. I don't want to go fix that immediately because context switching might cause me to lose some value toward the bug that I'm working on. So I just slam this into a list somewhere. Now you might say, well, why not slam it into GitHub issues? Like the pond isn't playing a sound. And this feels more official to me such that anyone else who's working on Skeleteller should be able to come in here and look at all the context. Whereas if I say this to myself and I can't figure it out later, I'm like, whatever, I'll just close it. But yeah, it's just a workflow I've happened to adopt just for ease. And then, yeah, every once in a while we do something like this and just look through everything. All right, so we could fix this. We could just fix this right now, in fact. Because somewhere we have hire adventure. There's one other thing I want to write down. Let's sync the changes and then go look at this. Man, the cat, I feel so bad. She doesn't know that every day I feed her at the same time and her meowing doesn't fix anything. But she just sounds so pitiful. All right, this right here. This had some code for how we increase this. As for the implementation, I guess we'll just save that. This code could be useful. More specifically, this. See that. Thought it was other people's bugs, not only yours. No. Well, I mean, technically some of them are. like someone sends a Discord message and they're like, hey, can you fix this? And I might just throw it onto my list. We probably have lots of issues that can be closed and we don't know if we should be working on them. Yeah, I got to look through those too. And then even of the ones that could potentially be worked on, how many are valuable to work on? So this one, for example, I'm only probably going to do because I think it's going to take like 2 minutes. And if it takes longer than that, we're probably not going to do it. So let's go test this one more time. Go to title, click new. All right, so I click unlock all, and then I click over here, I think. Yeah, nice. So what's the call stack on this? Here it is. And yeah, it should be this. Hire adventure. Okay. So all we have to do is if get adventurer by class is not null, you've already hired that adventurer. And I'll just say this should only be possible via cheats. So that's it. Since this is simple enough code, and since I think we just coded it right now, I'm fine doing this, but honestly, probably shouldn't have even spent the 2 minutes doing this. So now we make a new game and do that and that and that. Huh, that's weird. This is grayed out. Why is that grayed out? I have the money. Oh, weird. Strange. I think that's a different bug we just encountered. Yeah, so it says you already have that adventurer hired. And then it says a bunch of other stuff. I don't want that. Yeah, return null. This can return null? Interesting. I wonder why. Does anything even use that? These do, but I don't know why. No, they never seem to need to. Interesting. Yeah, that just got put in there by AI, I think. I can't talk too much about this. I don't like to stop too much. Two can get easily out of scope. So my mural board looks great, I would say. I don't totally get what you're saying. I assume mural board is some... Yeah, some collaboration thing. Your volume bugs in there. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I think... You know, I think there's something different between having a new product and having a mature product in terms of how you treat bugs. Like if you have a mature product, and mostly what this means is you've got customers at that point, and you've had those customers for a while, some amount of prioritization should probably be done like every day or week toward bugs. But like Skeleseller hasn't been launched. So there have been some bugs that we've had for like 10 months that I'm like, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll fix that. If the game had launched and people were complaining about it constantly, I'd probably prioritize it. But since it hasn't launched, I'm like, well, we have bigger fish to fry right now. All right, so there was one other thing I wanted to do. Oh, yeah, that's right. When you first start up the game, this is not related to that bug anymore. When you first start up the game and click hire, that was disabled. But then again, it picked the archer. So we have a 1/3 chance of getting the archer. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. So this is grayed out and clicking. No, clicking fixed it that time. I don't understand what caused that to be grayed out then. But I don't think this is a real issue that people can work themselves into. We don't have anything making money, do we? No. Okay, well, I'm going to go check this in. Fixed issue. Fixed specific cheating related issue. So repro is this. Click the hire, or like open the hire adventurer dialog. While it's open, click unlock all adventurers. At this point, you would have been able to hire an adventurer that you just cheated yourself into hiring already. Now it prints an error. Waited for the event raised by money earned, ignoring the cheat. Yeah, but there was no money earned this time. Unless I don't know. Anyway, it's not probably super important because a normal player couldn't have just started with the archer and then been able to hire 2 more adventurers. Although, could they load the game and have that happen? God, now I wonder. All right, let's save and load and see what happens. Yeah, everything's fine. Okay. Yep. As long as it doesn't repro right now. All right, we should probably change abilities component to look up abilities by ID and O of N or O of 1 rather than O of N. With challenge mode and the new trade-off things, there could be tens of abilities at once and there are lots of checks. I think this is a decent improvement to make, but now's not the time. All right, let's leave it where I left off there. And how much did we get done with? Word count, character count. All right, let's just get the time. We don't need the date. Okay, this is pretty good. We got done with another 10% or so. And the last time I did this, we got done with about 10%. Now, granted, it's 10% of a smaller number, so it's not as impressive, but I also added about, what, 1,500 characters there? 1,514? So, yeah, it's like 10% of the bigger number. So I do suspect that we're going to spend a lot of streams doing this. When I say a lot, I mean maybe 10 streams of just going through issues. At least, probably. In fact, I should probably figure out how many streams we have. Days until March 17th, or work days. So we just take this number, it says 67, and we multiply by however many streams I do per week, which is 6 plus 2, 8. Wait, that can't be right. What am I doing? 67 work days. Oh, no, it's per day. Yeah, so it's on average the number of... Yeah, so I don't care about that. I care about number of weeks. All right, so 14 point something times about 8. So we got about 112 streams. So pretty much the same number of calendar days as streams, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's fill this in. Worked on my backlog after that. How many hours do I stream for? I try to stream about 3 hours per stream. And I try to do about 8 streams per week. The schedule is a little unusual. So yeah, here it is. It's generally a morning stream for 3 hours, then a break, and then an afternoon stream for about 3 hours. I have 2 of these tabs open. Oh. I'm not looking forward to fixing the web late stuff. All right, so this has been finished. Let's just wrap up here really quickly. This stuff all needs to be done. Translation things to fix. Ugh. I need to get a proper workflow for that. And then this should probably be toward the top of the list. Yeah. Oh, well, we're in pretty good shape, I think. So again, we have some controller support here. So you can move the cursor around with the controller. You can press deny on that dialog. You can press confirm on this dialog. Excuse me, we can move the camera. So yeah, we can play the game through this. I think it's pretty nice. And then we started working on some other little things that are going to be much harder to show. And I don't even know if they provided value to the average player, did they? Is any of this worthwhile? If I click this and go to commits, I contribute. We made nine commits, excuse me. Get rid of the shortcuts label, change the call to this. That doesn't matter. That'll help translators. That will help translators. That's going to be needed at some point. That's kind of nice. That doesn't matter. That's kind of nice. And that doesn't matter. Yeah, so only a couple of these things really mattered. And I think this is why, looking back on this, it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this. This was probably a waste of time. And I should be careful as I go through the rest of this list. Now, the whole thing is not exactly 28 pages, because at some point we get to non-skeleteller stuff. Yeah, down here. Where is it? Yeah, non-skeleteller stuff. So all of this, and I guess these links too, this accounts for another like 10% of the document. So it's like that saying, you do the first 90%, then you do the last 90%. We can just get the last 10% of the last 90%. I'm gonna get going. Let's go find someone to raid. Oh, let's raid Fearophoria, who's probably also ending pretty soon. All right. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to join Discord, there are the links. And yeah, thanks again for joining mostly. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll just be a morning stream, and then I've got a lot to tackle in the afternoon. So cheers, everybody. See you later.